I am. They're happening just behind me. For about the last half an hour, since just before Hassan Diab's speech, there had been protests even before that, but it started to get quite violent in the last half an hour, all through the Beirut souks area, around one of the entrances to Parliament, where regularly there are scuffles, and there have been for the last 2 days, and then spreading into Martyrs Square, the scene of so many protests. We've seen continuous volleys of tear gas. The air is thick with it. You can barely see. And there's been a lot of scuffles, a lot of chasing by security forces, trying to push young men throwing rocks, who all came armed with gas masks, knowing what was going to happen after what we've seen the last couple of nights and previously from security forces. The army locking off many roads, trapping people in areas around Martyrs Square. I got trapped myself just a few minutes ago as I was trying to cross a road. And there are many, many different alleyways around this area where protesters will usually scatter when they're doing this sort of cat and mouse protesting, and then come back again and try again. And that's exactly what's happening right now. They've all been pushed back to the highway, and now they're trying to come back into Martyrs Square and start again. As we've seen since Saturday, protesters do seem to have lost a certain level of their fear. One told me yesterday there's a fearlessness in the air now. We have lost everything we could lose. We have nothing left to lose now. All we need is them gone. And it's clear from the reaction to Hassan Diab's resignation that they don't mean this government. They mean all the governments. They mean this system that they have been protesting against for almost a year now, which they believe is completely impossible to achieve a government which will actually look out for the interests of the Lebanese people, because it's gathered around these sectarian principles we've heard so much about, which is not a way, they say, to design a modern government for a country that they want to be united and work together to rebuild this country that has been shattered by this tragedy.
Leila, as you say, many protesters won't be calmed by the events on the political front with the government resigning. But what happens next politically? The government has resigned. They remain in place as a caretaker government? Well, from what we've seen in the past, that is what is likely to happen. They remain in place as a caretaker government, and then this current parliament, which was elected in 2018, looks and tries to elect another prime minister, who then needs to put a new cabinet together. This is exactly what happened when Saad Hariri left at the end of last year after protesters pushed him out. It then took several months for Hassan Diab to be nominated, and once he was accepted by the parliament, he then took more time again to put his cabinet together. Now, in that speech, he said, we tried to be transparent, we tried to make a different Lebanon. But many people would say that they didn't. When Hassan Diab's government came in January, they promised they would impose these reforms to change the financial system, to change the economy in the country, to get the country moving, and to be able to work with international partners to access the billions of dollars available in funding if only they will impose reforms. They have done none of that. They did none of that in the 6 months in government they promised to. As the IMF, as the French, many different international partners have repeatedly said, even now as they're giving aid. And so, as I say, protesters hold this government and other governments responsible for what's happening. So if this parliament does manage to put together another cabinet through electing a prime minister, and it's not clear that any new prime minister would be willing to step in at the moment with the situation it is in, because it's almost a losing battle. If they do, many of these protesters will still see that government as illegitimate, because, as I say, it comes from a parliament that was elected through a system they do not believe in. Leila, as you say, it's difficult to see who will step in at this point. Are there names being discussed of people who may be willing to step into that role?
The most likely candidate at the moment seems to be Nawaf Salam, who was mooted last time round and actually was more popular than Hassan Diab, but they couldn't quite get the votes together because of the complicated way that the voting system within Parliament works for electing a new Prime Minister. So it looks like he is the favourite again now. As I say, he is a very respected character. He's never been in government, but he was Lebanon's ambassador to the UN for many years, knows a lot about foreign policy, obviously has great international contacts, and that will be extremely useful right now with all these very tense relations happening with international donors who are trying to bypass the Lebanese government and give, as we saw with Macron's conference the other day, trying to bypass the Lebanese government and give the money directly to NGOs and local partners on the ground, which the Lebanese government is angry about. So many feel that he would be the right person for this job. But as I say, incredibly unclear whether he or anybody else would be willing to take on this job right now with so little faith of the people in this parliament and in this system.
Leila Milana Allen reporting from Beirut. Thank you.